What's up guys, and welcome to Review with a View.
Never too late to change your life. The story's not over, the ending is mine. Whatever it takes to see you smile.
So today we're going to be covering a topic which seems to be one that still confuses people, even though it is the most researched product out there that you could probably be using, and that is creatine. Should you be using it? How and why? 1. Should you be using it? Hell yeah. Why? It is one of the most researched products that you can get. It's one of the safest, one of the most value for money products that you could probably get your hands on. It's easy to get hold of and it is very, very user friendly. So what is creatine and what are the benefits of taking it? Creatine is a naturally occurring organic acid. It is usually taken in through our diet. It's taken up from the bloodstream by the body into the muscles, where it is utilized for expenditure of energy. So it helps with the production of ATP and ADP. Creatine is normally found in the diet from fish and red meats. Most people tend to take in roughly about a gram of creatine a day through their diet if they're not a vegetarian or vegan. So if you're a meat eater, you could take in roughly around about 1 gram of creatine per day. Now, studies have shown that between 5 and 20 grams of creatine is a rough safe zone of uptake for a supplemented creatine within the diet. Now that is overkill, 20 grams, but this was done in a study, it was on research, so they tend to go from one variable to another variable, from a low to a high extreme, to see the results. So the idea of supplementing with creatine is the fact that you optimize the phosphocreatine pool within your body. Now, the body requires creatine within the muscle to help you with energy expenditure. It is involved in creating the ATP and the ADP, which help your muscles contract and work over time. Now, creatine works by binding with phosphate, creating phosphocreatine within the muscle. This phosphate is then donated to create ATP, which then provides energy to the muscles for contraction. By supplementing with creatine, you increase your body's pool of phosphocreatine, which in turn increases the muscle's ability to turn ATP around, which allows you to generate more energy, which allows you to go harder for longer and essentially generate more gains. Some of the myths that you might have heard are that creatine bloats you, creatine can cause water retention and bloating, and creatine can harm your liver and kidneys. Now, most of those things are untrue when dosed properly and taken in safe levels. Creatine mono is really the only creatine that you need to be looking at taking. But the bloating thing is a complete myth. The fact that it will bloat you and hold water outside of the muscle are two of the biggest myths that you'll hear. The bloating. Now, this can be caused from two things. One, impure creatine from cheap sources claiming to be a creatine mono, but also having a high level of contaminants within their products, which could cause issues then in the digestive system. So that could have been one cause of people finding they got bloated from creatine mono in the past. 2, media nonsense. So clever advertising by people that want you to buy a higher level or a higher blend of creatine, such as creatine ethyl esters, creatine alkaline, Crealkalines, I think they were called, and then other creatine gluconates, and all these things. Okay, so they've cleverly advertised that these were non-bloating and more effective, because obviously they want to sell you a product at a higher value that you don't actually need to be buying. I mean, we saw all this in the early years of the bodybuilding world with the fantastic advertising of companies like Celtec, you know, that they're Celtec. So all you need to be looking at here is creatine mono. It is the best value for money. It's going to do the same job as the other creatines, and when used properly and consistently, there is really going to be no difference. The only difference I would say is the difference in the grain of the creatine that you're actually getting, and by that I mean the actual size of the powder grains that you are getting. So to keep it simple, there's kind of two types you can get. You can get micronized and unmicronized. Now the unmicronized is going to be a thicker grain. It's going to be more sand-like. It really isn't going to blend well in a liquid. It's going to sink to the bottom, it's going to settle easily, and it's not going to dissolve very well. It is a little bit cheaper, but in my opinion, it's more of a pain in the ass because it doesn't blend with like juice drinks or things you're going to put it in. If you're putting it into an intra-workout drink, if that's how you like to take it, it's going to sit at the bottom. You're constantly having to be shaking the thing up. like stirring drink style. You're much better just fork out a little bit more and get in the micronized way, because it's going to blend easier, it's going to be held in a better suspension in the drinks that you are putting it into, and as a result you're going to get a more even spread of intake of the creatine as you drink it. So if you have, say, 500 ml of liquid that you're putting it into, it's going to be spread more evenly through that 500 ml, whereas the denser grains, the more sand-like grains, are literally going to sit in the lower end of it, and you're going to have to end up getting to that point where you have to swill it at the bottom to down it, and you get a big nasty kick of the grain going into your mouth and on your palate. So my advice would be go for the micronized. Also, there's probably an added benefit of it might have a more rapid uptake into the body through the digestive system. It's going to be easier to uptake simply because more surface area, it's a finer grain, larger surface area for uptake, simple as, and it dissolves more easily and more readily. Let's talk also about the other little myth, which is that creatine will make you hold water and look puffy. The reality of it is it's actually the exact opposite. Creatine actually helps draw water into the muscle. So if anything, it's going to make you look fuller and harder whilst you are using it. So again, that is just a myth, and probably came around because people were taking creatine whilst on dirty bulks and probably did look a little bit fluffier, but that was more to do with the nutrition and diet and spill over into the subcutaneous with water due to food rather than the creatine. But the creatine will have obviously filled the muscles out underneath as well, which will have emphasized that bulk bloat. Number 2, let's clear up a really confusing one for people who really haven't taken supplements before, or maybe have only just started looking into them and see all these crazy adverts about creatine putting on 10 pounds of lean muscle mass in 4 weeks, which is nonsense. That's just all advertising to get you to buy a product. Look past it. But what it does do is make people think that creatine is something hormonal or something illegal or something unnatural. It is absolutely none of those things. Creatine is naturally found in your diet, it's found within your muscles, it is a non-essential nutrient, but one that we need for energy expenditure, muscle contraction, and recovery and growth. So it is a very useful tool, a very useful supplement, but one that has zero hormonal impact. So you see, as a result of this extra energy that you should have and this ability to go harder for longer, your progression, your probability of achieving gains increases. But that is an indirect result of the creatine and more a direct result of the work you put in, because there's more energy available for you to put in more work. Couple that with good nutrition that is tailored to you and your goals, then yes, it can help you make some solid lean gains and improve your training and lifts. But it is not going to do it for no reason. It gives you the opportunity to create the progression yourself. That's all. So let's just be very clear on that, guys. Completely natural, completely safe. Don't worry, it was all just nutty advertising. Creatine mono, like I said, is all you really need to be looking at. But there is a difference in quality out there. So some really cheap creatine monohydrates, they're likely to hold a higher level of contaminants and other ingredients that shouldn't be in there. So what you want to be looking for is the creatines that are certified as being tested and being, I think it's HCl tested, for being a high grade of creatine and a high percentage of creatine within the product that you're buying. That's going to help you get the best value for money, because otherwise what you could be buying is a cheap looking creatine monohydrate that could actually have a lot of other things in it, a lot of contaminants. So effectively you're going to be losing some of that benefit of, or bang for your buck, because you're not getting the highest grade of creatine that you could be. So number 3, usage, dosage, and what you can expect. Dosage wise, 5 grams per day, any time of day, just consistently taken, is going to be all that you need. You will have seen in the past that people have advertised for people to do loading periods, which would have them on ridiculous levels of between 20 and 30 grams of creatine a day for the first 6 to 7 days. And that was basically a marketing ploy to make people use up more of the first tub than was necessary and to get them onto buying a second tub more quickly. And I think that was a maxi muscle con from years and years ago, but something you absolutely do not need to know. All right, calm down, sheep. It has been proven that long-term usage of creatine in athletic individuals has no harmful effects on the kidneys, the liver, or any of the body's functions. So there's no real worry there. There's been proven studies that show that it's safe when taken at the correct dosage. Again, guys, when you have a headache, you take 1 or 2 pills to help with the headache. You don't take the full box. And you have to take this approach with everything that you use. More is not better. What you need is the efficient amount, which gives you a safe and solid return on your investment, your usage, and the hard work that you're putting in. Most things in excess are only ever going to cause you problems, and it's not going to benefit you to take more than is necessary. It's also very important that you're aware, creatine does not work acutely, and by that I mean it doesn't work straight away. So it's not like caffeine. You don't take it and then bam, it starts working. You have to allow creatine to build up in the system over time, increasing that phosphocreatine body pool that we talked about earlier. Over time, it's going to help saturate the muscles and increase that energy output capability that your body has, but you have to allow it to build up in your system over time. So it is not going to work the moment that you take it. Really important to understand that. So anybody that you've heard or say just taken their first thing of creatine, gone to the gym, had the best workout ever, completely and utterly placebo effect. This is why it's very important to understand that you only need a small dosage of creatine over a long period of time for it to be effective. You should take it consistently each day at roughly around about the same time, but if you forget, don't panic, just make sure you get it in on that day. Consistency is key with pretty much everything that you do with regard to the body, and keeping an eye and a check on your progression. The more consistent you can be with less variables, the more control you have. So that's simply the only reason to make sure that you take it at relatively similar times each day. Consistency is key, but don't panic, just get it in the day and you're all sorted. So after about the first 3 weeks, you should start seeing the effects of the creatine taking hold in your training, getting those extra few reps, recovering a little quicker in between sets, having just a greater output overall and feeling more energized. You should feel an improvement in recovery, but again, we're not talking anything crazy. You're not going to be jumping out of bed feeling like Superman, but you're going to definitely be feeling an elevated level of energy and ability in the gym. Creatine is probably one of the most value for money supplements that you can start with and keep as a solid foundational supplement in your cupboard year round. It's one of the ones that you're more likely to see solid results from in a very short period of time, and one that you can enjoy without risk of any dietary issues, and is easily added in to your day-to-day routine. I was using a creatine monohydrate that had a thicker grain, and I personally found that it became a chore to try and remember to take it, because it wasn't easily added to drinks that I could enjoy with a meal or anything like that, because it would just sink to the bottom and ruin the drink. So I ended up taking it either in a small shot of water and swilling it and then drinking it in one go, or straight to the dome followed by water, which was just nasty. So I've since then moved on. I'm now using a micronized creatine, which is like a really fine powder. It mixes really easily into any drink, and because of that simple fact that it's easier to use, I remember to use it more readily, and I'm more consistent in using it, and as a result I'm starting to now again see the benefits of the creatine. Whereas before I was intermittently taking it and not allowing that phosphocreatine pool to develop properly, now that I'm back using it properly day to day, I'm already starting to see the benefits and feel the elevation in my energy levels. The one that I'm using is EHP Labs Crea 8. Really versatile, just chuck it in anything, it mixes really easily, and that's pretty much as far as we need to go, I think, into the creatine levels. I hope that's cleared up a lot of the myths and a lot of the legends that surround creatine, because a lot of people seem to have either a false sense of what to expect from the product and then don't think it's working because they're expecting too much. Other people are scared to take it because they're unsure of whether it's hormonal based, whether it's natural, or whether it has these crazy side effects, which are actually not true. So fingers crossed that's cleared everything up for you guys. The overall answer is yes, use creatine 5 grams a day and you will see a benefit. As always, if you like these Simple Truth videos, smash the like button, let people know, and let me know also in the comment section, what would you like to see talked about next? I always read them, I always respond. I try to be one of the most interactive YouTubers out there. I'm always answering questions, I'm always responding to everyone, whether it be love or hate in the comments, I will respond. And I just, you know, I feel like I owe it to you guys to give back, because you guys give so much to me and allow me to do this on a day-to-day basis. So if you're sending me Snapchat questions, if you're messaging me on Twitter or tweeting me directly, the only ones I don't get are Facebook and Instagram, because they're absolutely saturated with spam. So Snapchat, Twitter and YouTube comments, and I'll get back to you. Final thing, nearly forgot to tell you, A couple of weeks ago I said that I'm working at the moment on a number of projects. Well, one of them has come to fruition, and it is a supplement comparison website, and it is absolutely free for you guys to use. And what it's going to do is make sure that you get the best deal for the supplement that you're looking for on that day. It works by scouring the internet to pull in all the brands and deals that are going on at that time. So all you have to do is hit up the website supscompare.com and check it out. You can search for specific brands, specific type of product, specific type of supplement, a genre of supplement such as pre-workout, whey, whatever it is that you're looking for, and it will pull up the best deals for you that are about on the day. Now, it is brand new, so the more that you guys use it, the more that we'll be able to look at the analytics and help pull in even more information with regard to what you guys are searching for. So what that means is we can expand this to include things like vitamin complexes, herbal remedies, herbal treatments, all things like that. Anything that kind of comes in under the health and well-being. So make sure you check it out. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you'd like to see any changes. At the moment it is working on the UK market, so for UK guys it is fully up and running. America, Canada, we are currently working on pulling in all the information from those countries to be able to get it out to you guys. So let us know if it is something you'd like to see. And basically just let us know if there's anything on there that you would like to see, you would like it to search for. Hit us up from the contact sheet, stick some comments in the section below. But hell yeah, there you go, a completely and utterly free, unbiased, unsponsored way for you to just simply search for the best deal for what you're looking for on the day. Because I've said it, and I've said it before, if I can get you guys something, if I can connect with a company, or whether I can create something or do something that helps you guys get the best value for what it is you're looking for, or just get more bang for your buck, then I'm going to do it every single time. You know, I try and make it so that like Lex 10 is a discount across as many things as I can make it. I get cheeky, I ask all the time whether they'll just put one on there. Most of the time they will, and it helps you guys out. So stay tuned, I will keep on hunting for more stuff. So until the next one, you're having a good day, and I'll see you very soon. Boom, baby!